I'll go with the egg.
Wow, dude.
What happened?
That was a crazy.
Tell us.
That was cool.
Talk to us.
Okay, who's giving us the clip notes of that thing? That was crazy. Well, there was a lady. Her name was Heather. She's from Ohio. She's been living here in Pickens for about 10 years. She has a few kids. She's doing contracts for work, so nothing real permanent. But we talked for a while about like how she's been involved in church, and she said up in Ohio she never went to church, and she said she came down here basically because she was running from a lot of stuff. So when she got down here, she tried church, and she took her little girls to like a Christmas thing at a church once, and kids were being kind of noisy, and some woman came up to her and told her to leave, just flat out leave. And so
Makes one slap somebody.
and she was saying like she understood that was an isolated incident, but then she tried other churches and just not really good experiences. So we talked to her for a while, and we asked her if she had any questions, and she was like, yeah, I do have a question. Why do you guys believe that God is a Trinity? Because it doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. You're not going to find that in the Bible at all. And so I'm thinking, okay, and then I went and talked about like creation, let us create man in our image, and I talked about like Jesus and the Father, and like I was going to go into the whole baptism thing, and she was like, well, if God is one but has these different persons, then he's schizophrenic. And then Christina was like, nope, imagine a man who is a father and a brother and a son. And she's
Tell
like,
me that, Thompson.
and then this girl
Systematic.
I was even going to go with the egg first, but then I was like, no.
Yeah.
Father was a better illustration.
And so Heather was like, I've never heard anyone explain it that way before. That makes a lot of sense. And then we asked her like what she said she had read the Bible from time to time, and she referenced some things.
Hold on 1 second. Systematic theology pays off. I just had to throw that in there.
But she had said she read the Bible from time to time and knew some things that kind of surprised me. But she never heard like the gospel presented, and so we, like Christina, picked it up and started at creation and worked all the way to Revelation, basically.
Wow, sweet.
And like Micah and I jumped in there to just clarify some points here and there, but we gave her hopefully a clear understanding of the gospel, and like I suggested that she go and read the book of John, because I said that'd probably help her with a lot of questions she had. And we gave her like her email addresses. Actually, she asked for them. And we gave
She asked for her email.
email addresses, and we said, anytime she was in Greenville, because she with her work, she's kind of all over the place. Anytime she's in Greenville, come visit Southside, and we'd love to just hang out with her. And if she had any questions, she could email us and stuff like that. So hopefully,
She seemed very like, I don't know, interested in like, not convicted, but like intrigued and like,
yeah.
I don't know, like very close.
So she was open to dialogue.
Oh yeah.
And she was
She
open
loved
to
to
Well,
talk.
clearly
the idea
you guys were out there for 6
For a
hours.
long time.
Well, she was saying like she feels like, she said she'll like lay in bed at night and talk to God and talk to Jesus, and she's like, I know that sounds weird, and we're thinking, we do that the exact same thing.
Same thing.
And she was saying, like after we presented the gospel, she said, we asked if we could pray for her, and she wanted to pray for the job, but also she brought up, and she was like, I want to be more open to letting walls down so that I can go into that relationship and like actually accept the gospel.
Wow.
Because it sounded like, from what I understood, like her past is kind of rough. Like,
Yeah.
She moved down here.
Well, she said to escape stuff, right?
Yeah. And so like, I think she's holding on to a lot.
And I told her, like, with the gospel, her past does not define her anymore. She's not what she used to be.
Preacher.
And so, we put a lot of seeds out there, and hopefully the Spirit will really grip her heart.
Awesome. Holly, pray for Heather.
Right now?
Yes.
Father, once again, I thank you so much for this opportunity that Micah and Evan and Christina just had, God, and I pray for Heather that she was just encouraged by this conversation, and she's feeling your presence right now, that she doesn't have to be defined by her past, and she doesn't have to escape those things, God, that you have already saved her from them. And I just pray that she's really going to just feel your love and your comfort, and just draw close to you, feel your presence, God. Know that you change all things, that sin is nothing to you, God, that you've cleansed it all, and you've made her new, God, that she'll just really hold on to that and just find a body of believers, possibly at Southside, just wherever you have for her, God. Thank you for Micah and Evan and Christina's willingness to respond to the questions that she presented, and thank you for speaking through them and planting those seeds, God. Keep her on our hearts, and that we'll pray for her and just be there for her.